Hello and welcome back to Dominion of Men, and with the fall of Delving, we have destroyed the Shire entirely. So this faction is no more. Now, one thing that you may have noticed from the previous episodes is that there were a lot of little village icons scattered around here before we took it. And that is because those village icons, internally, those are actually mines. They show up on the campaign map as mines do in Vanilla Rome when you build them in your settlements. A little mining symbol appears on the campaign map. Those village symbols represent mining income, actually, or internally that's what they are coded as. And the mining income in the mod has been renamed and reconceptualized to cover what we call land tax. That is just sort of a type of income that is independent of population size, the type of income that might be from, say, estates or feudal rents or something along those lines. It's just a way for us to balance the economy and have a type of income that is not so dependent on population fluctuations like income taxes, because as we all know, the AI will just drain its population completely if you give it the chance. So land tax allows that to be balanced. Now, the good thing about land tax in the Shire is that there's lots of those little villages. They contribute potentially a lot of money to your coffers, or at least so I have heard. I've never taken the Shire myself. But I think that only works if you can get the Dominion buildings, because once you get your homeland Dominion built, that's where you would have land tax appear as contributing to your income for that settlement. Because we can't afford to build Dominion buildings, we can't even afford to build a provincial pacification, which is a prerequisite for those later buildings. We are not essentially controlling the outlying villages, therefore they don't really show up as being relevant to us. But if we were to build that Dominion building at some point, if we had the money for it, those villages would pop back up and we would start raking in the land tax. So it may be the case that we will not see the economic boost from the Shire. And in fact, looking at our income, we're losing almost 9,000 a turn. So it's helped a little bit taking Devling, but this has not rocketed our economy simply because we didn't have the money to really exploit it. Now, there are some unique buildings here. There is actually a trader in Delving, which will increase our population growth, along with our Dominion buildings. So we're still going to be in the negatives for quite some time. We also have a Matham House, which is sort of the museum that was mentioned at Delving. And so what we're going to do is destroy that. This doesn't offer us any benefits. It seems like a fairly cultic type of thing to do anyway. There's also the Green Dragon, which does increase happiness. This does cost us some upkeep. However, that is land tax upkeep. And as we saw, we have no land tax. All we're getting for income here is trade and income taxes. So the fact that this is upkeeping, or this has a maintenance cost for land tax, it's actually not really relevant. So this is just giving us happiness. I'm fine with keeping that. We also have another library, the Library of the Great Smiles here, and this one also would eventually get us ballistas once we had the other appropriate infrastructures built. So we're going to keep that for now, and otherwise that's it. We're just going to keep all of that stuff. So we did also off-screen fight a battle against Tharbad right outside here. We beat that army, and we're heading up to relieve Three Ways. We may have to fight this one ourselves, but I do want to point out that essentially now we are a cav and skirmisher faction, at least as far as this army is concerned. We've got mostly cavalry here. We've got only a couple of infantry melee troops, but the rest are archers, and that's really what we're going to be relying on. Because the archers can stay out of melee, the cav can deliver decisive blows. The infantry is just there to be a backstop for our cavalry charges, essentially. So that's how we're going to play it in the west. And we do have a big problem, of course, because we're at war with Tharbad. They could come up and take all of this if we're not careful. Now, our goal, of course, in the campaign is to eliminate the elves. They've only got 3 settlements over here, and I'm not going to throw my armies at them just yet, because the army that just took Delving is pretty weak, and I do need an army to at least hold off Tharbad somewhat in the south. Once we deal with the elves over here, though, we may be in a position to head west. So although we're looking in a very dire situation, I think we can still pull off our goals because, hey, we're losing money anyway, right? It's not like losing Three Ways is going to, pull us in a different trajectory necessarily. We're still losing a ton of cash. So losing all of our settlements, theoretically, isn't going to make that much of a difference. So let's just end the turn. we are going to be moving our armies next season, and I think we're going to get a battle in against the elves in this episode. The Bjornies want trade with us. Yeah, sure. Let's get their map info. Maybe they're probably going to want nothing there. Let's see if they'll pay for it, and I'm sure they won't, because we don't share a border with them. All right, fine. We'll just take your trade rights. I wonder if they would want an alliance, but probably not. Nope. Okay, that was Under Towers, which we lost to a rebellion. And this is a bunch of, I'm not sure what these units would be. I don't think we have rebel hobbits in the mod. I have no idea. Right, so Dale and Rune are at war. That's expected. Okay, so we lost Under Towers. Not a big deal, honestly. That does hurt our trade income quite a bit. But it's, again, we are so far behind in terms of income that that losing a little bit more just doesn't seem that relevant. All right, so we can finally now get out of Dwarven territory. And at this point, we do have a couple of ways we could get to the Elven King's Halls. There is a path that could lead us across this ford down by Esgaroth and up towards the city that way. That's one way. Another way is through the north. So we could head over here and down through a passage this way. And I think we may want to try both of those. We'll bring our army.
Yes, master. Not possible.
Yeah, see, there's... Oh my gosh, they got more units. This is not good at all. What do they have? It's so hard to tell what the elves have because they're hiding some of their units in the trees. I think last time we saw they had up to this many units. And so the 2 threshold spears and these other 2 archers are new additions to this stack. So at least we know they're there. There may be another army that we're going to run into. Not yet. All right, if I can take out this field army, looks like the garrisons are quite small. So this could be the climactic battle for the northern Greenwood. Let's, what do I want to do with this army? I think the best plan here is to go westward. We do have a Dale settlement to avoid, but we can get around that pretty easily and down there. There may be some more elves hidden in the trees. There's a big Dale army there. We'll have to watch out for that. Over here, we've got another Dalish army right outside Framsburg. And again, we're just going to pass on through and head up into the north. Let's bring our emissary around. I don't think there's much point in asking anything from Dale. Okay. We may just drive them off there. And let's see. Do I have any agents in the area? I've got that one scout over in the Grey Havens, and that's really it. Well, he might be more useful if we bring him over here anyway. We're not going to be going after the elves, and since the elves are going to be just defending their territories, we don't really need to worry about being attacked. I guess it makes sense to leave this army here, though. I don't really want to take Sarnford, because here's why. We take Sarnford, we lose a bunch of troops. This is not going to right our economy by taking this settlement. Yeah, it's unwalled. Yeah, it's just rebels. But they're going to inflict losses on us, and we probably need all of these guys for other stuff. Meanwhile, as long as this stands in rebel hands, it's a settlement that Tharbad doesn't have. If Tharbad does take it, they're going to have to attack these rebels and clear them out while they take losses in the fight. So I'm happy to have them do it. If Tharbad takes it, maybe we'll take Sarnford. Otherwise, this is kind of acting as a block to Tharbad's expansion north into the Shire and Numinas and so on. So we're just going to defend around 3 ways around Tharbad, just keep our armies moving. I'm not going to fight these guys unless I really have to, and especially not in the woods. I want to try to fight them in the open so I can make the most use of the cavalry and archers that I have here. So I think that's all I want to do in that part of the world. Actually, there is a siege going on. No, they pulled away from the Southgard fort. That's actually really good news. So maybe I can head down here with this army and get within range of potentially taking Greyholm just to mess with him, just to take another settlement. If I can do it easily without taking a lot of losses myself, then I'll do it, because that'll mean Tharbad has to focus on that. Okay, we're attacked by the elves. Okay. All right, there's that big army. Okay, so a ton of archers. Just a ton of archers. All of these units get combat bonuses in the woods, which means they're going to get, I think, a +6 to their melee attack in the woods, which this will be. Yeah, they can all hide anywhere except for the cav. Okay, well, this will be important. Okay. So a good thing, I guess, about this this battle happening defensively is that we won't have to march towards the elves and get shot up. They'll be marching towards us. That means we'll get some free shots in with our own archers, and we may, you know, have some luck with our catapults. And since they're attacking us, we won't have to worry about being blocked off by the forested terrain. We can set up where we like, and our catapults can just stay put. I don't know if we can win this, though. Let's go ahead and put it on flaming ammunition and shoot at the nearest enemy. Okay, we got 4 units of archers, all dark bows, which are the lower tier of bowmen. We don't have any longbows in this stack. We do have some Rovanian Ranger mercenaries. These skirmishers are going to be helpful. And we got some decent infantry. No armor-piercing stuff, but we got some decent infantry that can at least hold up the enemy. And we also have some pretty impressive cav. So this is not a bad force. It's just that the terrain is going to be very much in their advantage. This is flat, so we're not going to get any nice hill advantages in terms of our range of our archers. And I can't even move out of the way because this is all kind of considered forested terrain, I guess. Well, actually, no, I can move this back here. No, I can't. We're running into the same problem. Because this is considered forest, catapults are kind of stationary. Well, that's how it was in Medieval 1, if you remember that game. I always kind of preferred that approach, to be honest. In Medieval 1, you couldn't move your siege engines on the battlefield. Some of them could turn, not all of them. Some of them could just simply stand, and they could only face in the direction that you deployed them. Once that was set, you couldn't even change how they were aiming. Some of them could swivel, but for the majority of them, they didn't even have that luxury. And then Rome came along and said, let's put all these things on wheels and guys can just push them, which was certainly convenient, but also seems somehow inaccurate. But okay, that's what we've got to deal with. All right, so front line. We've got Royal Spearmen on this side, and we've got Grim Spears on that side. The AI does like to deploy your Spearmen mostly on the flanks, which I guess makes sense. Now, the thing is, they're going to be sending archers. I mean, they've just got a ton of archers. They're not going to be sending in a lot of melee units at us, and their cavalry is cavalry archers as well. And if they don't come straight at us, I really don't want to fight in the trees. It's just going to be so hard for us to see. But maybe we get our archers kind of up. I think we should move our line back a bit to right by the catapults. And this way the catapults will not shoot our own men, or at least less likely to do so. Okay, we've got our archers up front. I think I'm going to hide the mercenaries. Just try to remember that they're there, and we'll see how this goes. So we're at fire at will, and they're pretty much straight in front of us here. There they are. Now, they are led by a captain, which is this cavalry unit. And if we can kill him, we know that we can get some of these guys to rout. That was good. Got to keep that up. Since they are an archer-heavy army, there's going to be some units that are probably going to hang back and just try to shoot. But they're already hitting us. Well, I'll let the catapult do what it's going to do. Look at those threshold troops. Some Sylvan axes are pursuing. I'm going to put them on guard mode. Everyone can just kind of hold out. Here come the Greenwood bows just charging in. Okay, threshold troops and threshold troops. And we're going to try to skirmish away from them and just avoid their melee stuff. Alright, is that their entire line? Once they get committed, we'll get around to the flanks with our cav. We'll just let those threshold troops pursue our... Okay, they're coming into the cav. Let's, Greenwood Guards. This is an axe unit, and so they're effective against armor. Send our general in. Send our cav up this way, and we've got other cav working around on this end. Oh, let's see. This is our king, Imrazor of North Ithilien. Let's pull him out. Oh. Is that the enemy? Yes, it was. All right. Let's hit the cab in the back. We might be able to pull this off. All right, Greenwood Guards. It's only 11 of them. They got some more Greenwood bows coming. Losing heavy and wavering Sylvan axes. This is their toughest melee-only unit remaining. The Greenwood bows are coming out. They're just armed with small one-handed axes. All right. And we're losing all of those Ravanian Ranger mercenaries. That is sad. Let's get the heavy cav out. Greenwood bows, and oh, we got the Elven scouts charging in. Take them off guard mode, and let's run in the other cav, or the spears rather. Those Greenwood bows. Look at the damage they did to the front line. Oh my gosh, did they just wipe out a unit of... Wow. They completely wiped out a unit of Swords of the Shadow. Wow. Well, that's what they're there for. To get grinded out of existence by a bunch of elves with axes. All right. Wow. Oh, we got to get these guys out. Get out of there. All right, get those Elven scouts right in the middle of the fight. Okay, but these guys are now freed up. Okay, got to get the cav out. Alright, if we can eliminate this stack. And they're losing heavily. Oh no, 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 do not kill my... Oh no! Oh, damn it. Yep. Oh no, this is all gonna go horribly. Alright, we gotta use what we have. And we've got to pull off a win here. We absolutely have to. Our catapults are gone. This is a disaster now, because those catapults were what I was depending on. Oh no. If we win, maybe some of them will come back, but they're not going to be back to the right, to full strength. These Elven Scouts are a very strong unit as well. All right, Sylvan Axes are charging. We've still got our bodyguard unit. And so we can still use him to help out. We should use him and abuse him while the unit still somewhat remains. Okay, Greenwood bows, and because these are all archer units, they're all still around to shoot at us. Okay, alright. Maybe that cab is going to give up the ghost here. Well, we gotta run down their archers, though. Oh no, there's a bunch of threshold troops. Ah, damn it. Alright, that is their lowest tier unit, basically. I'm not sure what those Elven Scouts are going to do. I think all their other units are routing. Greenwood bows. This is a low-tier archer unit, but it's elves, so they're wavering. Oh my gosh, these spearmen are basically routing my the entirety of what is left of my line. Okay, there go those units. I'm gonna get my cav. Let's see if we can get their general once and for all. I mean, the unit is dead, or the general is dead, but the unit is still remaining. They haven't fled yet. If we can corner them with my cav, I think we can come off pretty well. Royal Spearmen are just losing slightly. Probably shouldn't be charging in with my dark bows, but that's kind of all I've got. Alright, here we go. We get the Elven Scouts. They should be a soft target. There they go. Nice, and we can set up here for a good charge. As long as these guys hold. These Greenwood guards, though, are no joke. They're absolutely tearing through my Royal Spear, just anything. Alright, so threshold troops. Oh, they're kind of facing the wrong way. Alright, well, let's charge in. Winning easily. Yeah, okay. Took out a couple of them. We got to pull out again. And we want to do this right this time, but our bows are definitely going to rout. We do have some Grim Spears. Oh my gosh. Okay. Grim Spears came back. Very good. Any other units? Yeah, we do have these guys who do have some arrows left. So we're just going to set up here. And our guys are all very tired. So Grim Spears are going to hit the threshold troops. Hit the threshold troops. You guys are actually in range of the Greenwood Guards, which is nice. Alright, let's see. 10 Greenwood Guards. What I want to hit is the threshold troops. They are the single largest unit. Let's see if we get a good charge here. Looks good. Leveled lances, but it's slow. Oh, there. Nope. I thought they were going, but it's my men who are routing. All right, 39, 36. Oh no, we don't have it. 36 left. And they're going to get a lot of those guys back. So when they win, if we can't break these guys, which I don't think we can, they're going to get a lot of their units back. Oh, gosh. Okay, so what that means is we have to hit the Elven King's Halls with our other army that's in the area. Bring this one unit of cav around. Maybe some of these cav will come back. If we can hit the Greenwood Guards, we may be able to rout them. But I don't think there's much chance of this. Yep, there goes everything. Alright, the dark bows. No sense in just routing them off the field. Oh, and they also have a unit of, what is that? Oh, another full unit of threshold troops. Yep, we're done. We're just done. Okay, so the only hope is to take the Elven King's Halls before they get back. That means probably fighting Thranduil. So a slim defeat. That's very generous of you, game. We lost about 900 men. And they only have 162 survivors, so that's nice. We killed 310 of them. If we can take the Elven King's halls out, that is their major production center. That's the only place that starts with actual positive growth in the entirety of the Elven realm. So if we can take that off before that army gets back, if we can do it fast enough, then we might have a chance. If not, then we just don't. We don't. The king is dead. Imrazor of North Ithilien. Well, let's reflect on his successes, shall we? He started in Ithilien, down here, minus Ithil, and abandoned it to begin his crusade of destroying the Firstborn. Headed up here, and I think his was the army that took, Amon Lank. This was the old site of Dol Guldur, which the elves took at the end of the War of the Ring and turned into East Lorien. He took that out and marched up into the Greenwood and met his demise between Emenduir and the Elven King's halls. A pretty good showing, and that was a close battle, honestly. I've got to say, I'm surprised on the one hand that I did as well as I did. Let's take a look at what they have remaining, because I think this is it. We've got a 100% chance of seeing what they have left. Yeah, this is that army. So we did a pretty good number on them. They've only got a unit and a half of threshold troops, a few Sylvan axes, only 7 of the Elven scouts, and they got a few of their infantry archers. Now again, these units are tough, but this army is looking a lot more manageable than what we saw before. If we go down towards this Elven settlement of Emenduir, there's nothing else here. They've got a nobleman in the settlement, and I can't tell how much population they have. I'm not going to try to check that out for sure, but I don't think it's much. I think they probably trained everything they can. And so our goal now will be to get to the Elven King's halls. Where can they get to? It looks like they can get there in a couple of turns, so I don't know if we'll be able to do this. I'm kind of being blocked by Dale. Let's just make sure there's no one else in the woods there and see what else we have. Whoops. Okay, so that's going into the settlement. So we know Thranduil is in there, and there's a bunch of buildings. Okay. Any other units? No other units outside. Okay, so we have to go up here and here. And do I want to risk war with Dale? Because I've got a lot of movement points. That's Hearth troops, though. And I don't have a lot of archers. I'm not going to do it. I think we just have to take it on faith that we destroyed enough of these units. We're not in their territory yet. We'll keep using our spy. And hopefully he will not die of old age. But we also have an assassin around. Hopefully we get to keep these agents. And we'll just hope that they don't have any other units that they bring to bear. Because if we can get into the Elven King's halls, they've only got 3 units here. They do have a population of 435. That means maybe in a couple of turns they can train another unit of Greenwood bows or something. But we want to get there fast. Now, this is the faction leader. Thranduil is commanding a full unit of Elven retainers, almost 60 in that unit. So that's going to be a very, very tough nut to crack. But we've got a decent army. I mean, these are not the best units. We've got a lot of Grim Spears. No ranged units, but we do have some Macemen. Remember, we've got this unit of Nirn Guard. He is not even old yet. He's still mature. So he has a pretty good unit that if we can get in the back behind some of those Elven troops, those two-handed maces are going to do some good damage to them. We also have some Adunabar Macemen, also with armor piercing, and Axes of the Shadow, also effective against armor. So we've got some good units that can pin. Adunabar Macemen, Spears of the Shadow, some Swords of the Shadow, and even some Grim Spears can do some pinning. We've got some cav. I think we can handle it. Let's look at our income. See, check it out. Losing that army, we're only losing 2,400 a turn. So we may be looking at positive income fairly soon if we can hold on to the settlements we have and lose some more units. So, kingdom announcements. We've got a new king. Let's check him out. Zimmerhill, the Land of the Shadows. So that's good. He's going to have a larger bodyguard unit size, and he's a competent commander. He's got a Blade of Renown, which is going to increase the troop morale of his soldiers and improve his hit points and the valor of his bodyguard unit. So he's a wary fighter, which is also good for his hit points. His men are starving. They've been in the field for a very long time, so no supply. But that may be enough.